Welcome to the first video for our little Rusty Bronco project. We have named it Rusty because it is filled with rust. So the reason it's partially inside the garage and partially out is because our neighborhood association thought that the truck was pretty ugly and didn't want it to be seen. So this is how we're working on the truck. So it has to be in the garage is what they say. So that's what we're doing. All right, so this is a 67 Bronco. It's a wagon, and I am completely new to the early Bronco everything, really. My wife has always wanted one of these, so we picked this up, and we're planning to do a lot of work to it. Obviously, you can see just from what's uncovered, it needs a lot of work. But if we were to uncover everything else, you would say, oh man, you're way over your head. And you're right, we are in over our head. But we're going to give it a shot. So the previous owner had this for 18 years. It hasn't run for 7. Last I heard, it overheated. That was from him. And he said before it overheated, it ran fine. The four-wheel drive works and everything. So with it having sat for 7 years, it had nests, leaves, the whole thing in here. Rat's nests, I guess, mouse nest. And it took us 2 days to clean it. It's a 289, and I'm done one rebuild of a 302, so I'm going to test my learning on this 289. We're planning to not do a full restoration, but at least get it to driving to where we can drive it every day, and that would be for my wife to be able to drive it every day. So the plan is to put a Phytech up here to add power brakes, to add power steering, and to add discs up front, keep it drums in the back. We're looking to redo a lot of the wiring, maybe just a complete wiring harness. The body also needs a lot of work, which I think that I'm incapable of doing. And so we're talking about, do we go to a fiberglass tub or a steel tub and complete body, and maybe going about it that way so that everything is new and so we know how everything is put together. The first thing that we've done is to try to get this, what we want to try to do is to get it to start. We've taken all the plugs out and we put oil and WD-40 in there, let the oil sit in there for a day or so, and then WD-40, cut the belt, and then I put a socket on the crankshaft pulley, and it did turn, so we're able to do that. Today we're talking about we've already got the distributor loose. We've marked it. We got a new point. We've got new distributor cap, new wires, new plugs, new coil, and we've also marked it in relation to the engine in 2 places. And once we pull that out, we're going to prime. We're going to run down and prime the oil pump and see if it works. That right there, that is our thermostat housing. And as you can see, there's mice have been chewing here. We've got wires that have been chewed, and that's why we're thinking we just need to go ahead and redo the entire wiring harness. I've cut this fuel line, and I'm going to put a new filter and run it into the carburetor. We've got a ton to do. So anyway, what we're looking to do is just see if we can get it started. But I wanted to go ahead and start a video to sort of show it in the early stages, and before we get too far, and really just y'all don't be too harsh on me. I know how bad things look, and I realize I'm in for a very expensive and challenging process. Maybe, I don't know how much, but we are going to find that out. Just giving a overall look at the battery. Where's the date stamp? It was 03. The battery was back in 2003. We tried to put a charge on it. It did not hold it. A little summary there. All right, looking at the interior, we've got the original seats, original bench. We do have a busted glass back here. Bird's nest in the far corner. With the hard top. My wife would like 3 on the floor instead of on the column, just because she's unfamiliar with it on the column, as am I. So a 67, I'm not sure what else I could tell you because I don't know what is significant yet about these. Looking at the rust issues. We've got doors for them. They do have it looks as though they have the removable frame to it from the limited reading I've done. That is available up to 68, I think. That rocker over there is really bad. The plywood was put in place. I do not know what it looks like underneath. So maybe there's things that you guys can see. I really don't feel as though my attempting to do any rust repair is a good idea. Talking about just swapping it out. And here is why. The driver's side. Alright, so that is our introduction to Rusty in our first video on this channel. We figure, well, I told my wife 3 years, so we'll see what happens. All right.